Good morning. I'm meteorologist Casey Curry. I want to update you quickly on this tornado warning that we have in effect for parts of Fort Bend County. We're watching the cell very closely. We haven't heard any reports of a visible sighting of a tornado, but this is radar indicated and has been for quite some time. We're watching the cell very closely. It's very close to a lot of populated areas in Fort Bend County, stretching from Rosenberg northward towards Katy. This stays in effect till 9 a.m. We'll give you another update in just a few minutes. Good morning. I'm meteorologist Casey Curry. We need to give you an update on the severe weather warnings that are out there this morning. We are watching a dangerous line of storms that's moving through Fort Bend County. We put future track on this cell that's potentially tornadic. It's had radar indicated rotation with it. The future track is pushing it off to the east at about 25 miles per hour. It is headed towards the Houston metro. Right now on this track, it would put it into areas like the western parts of Bel Air in about 11 minutes, into Sharpstown in 22 minutes, Meyerland in 25, and into Tanglewood in 27 minutes. You can see right beyond that area is also the downtown Houston area, so we'll continue to watch that system push likely towards downtown, probably in the next half hour, 40 minutes or so. Live Mega Doppler 13 HD, we're continuing to watch. The severe thunderstorm warning is now extended. That was just in effect for parts of Fort Bend County. Now this is extending out a little further off to the east. We're continuing to see large hail with this. I'll step over and grab the severe thunderstorm warning. And now they've extended the tornado warning into 9:45. So we're going to continue to watch not only the hail, but the potential for tornadic threat. The wind shear, you can see on what we're picking up here that this definitely does continue to show rotation with it. And that's why we're so concerned about it. That's why the tornado warning has been issued and now extended. This is extended not only for Fort Bend County, but also parts of Harris County as well. We're going to keep you updated this morning as long as the severe weather threat continues. And we'll break into Live with Kelly and also The View as much as we need to, as long as that tornadic threat does continue. But again, tornado warning in effect for parts of Fort Bend County and parts of Harris County until 9:45. Some of the areas that we are concerned about include the Galleria area down towards downtown. We also have at least one funnel cloud reported near Mason Road and Highway 99. Have a great day, everybody. We'll give you an update in just a little bit. Good morning, everybody. I'm meteorologist Casey Curry. We're actually going to go ahead and just interrupt Live with Kelly because this is a very developing, very dangerous situation across southeast Texas this morning. We're watching a tornadic supercell that is moving out of Fort Bend County towards Harris County and likely towards some very populated areas. So far, we've only had one report of a possible funnel cloud near Mason Road, but with the potential of this rotating storm moving right towards the heart of downtown Houston, this remains a very dangerous situation. So we're going to keep you updated. We've got meteorologist Travis Herzog over in the Weather Center. We'll check in with him in just a moment for some additional analysis. First, let's get you the nuts and bolts of what's happening right now. Live Mega Doppler 13 HD. We do have a tornado warning that's in effect for parts of Fort Bend and parts of Harris counties. That's the pink box that you see here. Outlying that is where we have the yellow box. That's the severe thunderstorm warning. That's your more garden variety severe storms where we're seeing the damaging winds and also some hail and, of course, that dangerous lightning. This dangerous cell is moving off to the east at about 25 miles per hour, so it's racing to the east. We are seeing some heavy rain out of this, and so far the totals with some of these stronger cells has been 2.5, maybe 3 inches of rain. But right now it's the rotating potential of this system that has us most concerned. Right now, we're watching this system kind of stretching right from Jersey Village down through parts of Fort Bend County, through the Sugar Land area, and then edging back towards the Rosenberg area. Because of the quick movement, some of the areas like Addicks, Alief, Sugar Land, Richmond, Rosenberg, that are all seeing the worst of this system, the possible rotation, all of that is pushing to the east so quickly that we'll be watching areas like Spring Branch, Piney Point, into the Galleria area. All of those locations will likely see the effects of this system very quickly. You can see when we start seeing these purples and oranges show up, this is the heaviest part of this storm. We're going to continue to watch it race off to the east. But this line continues all the way back towards the Rosenberg area. So this is not just one isolated cell. And if you've been watching this morning for any length of time, you know that we've had a series of tornado warnings in effect this morning because of the radar indicated rotation that we're seeing out there this morning. Quick peek up to the north where we are seeing additional heavy rain. Some parts of Montgomery County have picked up some flooding rains. We're getting reports of some minor road closures, some water into a few buildings. We're going to keep you posted as we head throughout the rest of this morning. Very heavy rain from Splendora up through Cleveland, up towards Shepherd, and up towards Livingston. But by far the area that we are most concerned about is this potential tornadic cell, where we do have the rotation indicated on radar that's moving out of Fort Bend County and towards the downtown Houston area. One of the other effects of these storms this morning has been the dangerous lightning. We've had quite a few power outages this morning. The lightning strikes just in the last few minutes are greater than 600 strikes. So these are extremely strong storms that are making their way across southeast Texas. Let's zoom in once again a little closer here and take a look at this cell. It is a monster system here, pushing off to the east very quickly at 25 miles per hour. Let's take a look at the future track if we can. I want to give you some times on where we're expecting the storm to head. And what we did here is we have taken future track. We know where the storm is headed, the direction and the speed, and then the computer kind of times out where the storm will be in the next few minutes. So the worst of it will be into Bunker Hill in about 7 minutes. Sharpstown in about 10 minutes, towards the Spring Valley area in 11 minutes. Of course, there are towns and communities in between all of these, but I think you can pick out some of the cells that we're seeing, kind of pick out where you might be. Again, this is a tornado warning that's in effect for parts of Fort Bend and parts of Harris County. So the worst of this, again, we put future track on, moving to the east at 25 miles per hour. So into Hunters Creek in about 11 minutes, into Bel Air in 14 minutes. That puts it into Tanglewood, the Galleria, all about that same time. Then towards West U, closer to 18 minutes, and then pushing through the downtown Houston area, probably closer to 25 minutes or so. This is a potentially dangerous storm system. Let's get you back to live Mega Doppler 13 HD, where we're continuing to watch all of this push off to the east. This will give me a better chance to really put into motion what's happening here. We can go back to weather 4 for me. That would be great. Thanks, guys. We'll continue to watch some of the lightning strikes here. You can see all of the bright white dots showing up. Those are the intense lightning strikes that we're seeing with this system. And again, we've got tons of them out there this morning. So just keep in mind that all of this pushing off to the east at a very quick pace. Let's head over to meteorologist Travis Herzog. He's got some additional analysis on this dangerous storm. Travis?
Thanks, Casey, and good morning, everyone. Just to reiterate, there is a tornado warning in effect for Fort Bend and Harris counties until 9:45. It's this, what we call tornadic supercell, that is pushing east-northeastward along the West Park Tollway right for the heart of Houston. It's moving in that direction at about 25 miles per hour. It's also important to note this is Doppler radar indicated, which means where you see the rotating arrows is where we are seeing rotation on radar. We have no confirmed reports of an actual tornado that has touched down, but this is a very serious storm that needs to be taken seriously. With this tornado warning into the high population impact areas, it is moving at this present time. Now, another important thing to note is that we have had a report of a funnel cloud at the Grand Parkway and Mason Road. That was reported by Sugarland Law Enforcement. That happened earlier this morning, within the past, that was about 10 minutes before 9, so this does have a history of at least producing a funnel cloud. What I want to do is I want to loop this into motion. Watch the rotating yellow arrow that continues to persist in Fort Bend County, now into western Harris County, just north of the West Park Tollway, south of Interstate 10, the Katy Freeway, between Highway 6 and the Beltway. That's the main area of rotation that we are tracking. That's where we have the potential for this to turn, for a tornado to actually drop down out of the clouds. Zooming down a little bit now and stopping this, what you'll see is that this rotation is right along Westheimer Road and Willcrest Drive. And again, it's moving to the east-northeast. You're going to see it jump around a little bit as the computer continues to analyze new data, but basically the entire area in West Houston, from the Katy Freeway southward to the West Park Tollway and all areas eastward to the Loop, need to take shelter right now due to this storm. You can hear it raining heavily. You're probably hearing hailstones hitting the roof as well. This storm has a history of producing hailstones in excess of 1.5 inches in diameter. So at the very least, we're looking at torrential flooding downpours, hailstones, frequent cloud-to-ground lightning strikes, wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour, and the possibility that the storm could produce a tornado on short notice. So right now is not the time to be thinking about going outside. Here's a look at Doppler winds. What this is showing us is where the rotation is in the thunderstorm. I'm going to draw this on right here. This is the main area of rotation. It's a very large area of rotation, a sign that this storm is going to impact a very large region. In terms of what kind of tornado it would produce, it would likely be a small and short-lived tornado. That's what we've seen seen so far in terms of what it's been exhibiting. But again, this could produce a tornado at any point in time. We also have a hail product on here, which indicates where the most likely region is for hail. And we can also advance this in time to get you a feel for the direction that it is moving. Again, you see this east-northeast fashion at about 25 miles per hour right along the West Park towards downtown Houston. So this has the possibility to produce some damaging weather, even if it does not produce a tornado. So we're continuing to track this thing in this east-northeast fashion. We'll go back to the radar imagery here to show you exactly what we're seeing, and we'll pull it out a little bit too. This is what's happening here is a cold front is lifting into, or pushing southeastward into southeast Texas, and as it does so, it's interacting with some very warm and unstable air. So you can see this line extends from just east of Lake Livingston southward to near Matagorda Bay. But the storm that's getting all the focus right now is the one where you see all of the boxes around it. Tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning. So this is going to impact a large area, but in terms of where the tornado may be, that's on the west side of Houston, where you see the circulating yellow arrow. And again, moving to the east-northeast at roughly 25 miles per hour. In addition to this, we have the flooding threat. We have had some communities report up to 7 inches of rain with storms that formed earlier this morning. The good news here is if we can sit this storm out, behind it is just some good old-fashioned, much-needed rainfall. This is the severe threat, so the next 30 minutes to an hour will be crucial across the city of Houston to make sure that you take all precautions that you can to stay safe and sheltered inside as this storm moves right for downtown Houston off to the east-northeast again at 25 miles per hour. Casey Curry standing by at the weather wall. She's got some more information to update you with right now.
Hey, good morning, Travis. We want to update you with some of the damage reports that have just come in. This is a new one. This is a funnel cloud in Fort Bend County. This is 3 miles to the west-northwest of Sugar Land. A county sheriff reported a funnel cloud there at Grand Parkway, which is 99 and Mason Road. And again, this is very similar to the same location. We had one other report. It sounds like this one is probably the same one, maybe verified a little bit. Let's take you here to live Mega Doppler 13 HD. We are continuing to see the rotation on the radar from this storm. And again, as Travis mentioned, this is a potentially very dangerous situation because we not only have the lightning, the very heavy rain, and of course the hail and damaging winds, but also that threat for tornadoes. And as we've seen, we've had at least a couple of funnel clouds reported. So far, no damage reported, nothing that's touched the ground. Let's talk more about this system, kind of put everything into motion. I want to quickly highlight the lightning strikes. This is a very dangerous situation. As Travis mentioned, you don't want to be outside. And if you are in the path of this particular potentially tornadic storm, you definitely want to be taking shelter immediately. And by shelter, what we mean, because again, this is not something we deal with all the time, you want to find an interior room of your home. The best room will be one without windows, that you've got maybe several walls. Sometimes that's a closet, sometimes it's a laundry room, sometimes it is your bathroom. Something in the interior of your home is going to give you the best protection from any sort of damaging straight line winds or any potential tornado that would head through your area. So again, we do have this tornado warning. It's in effect for parts of Fort Bend County, in 2 parts of Harris County. And the area that you're watching, so we've got 2 different flashing boxes here. The area that's got this purple, this kind of magenta color, that is the tornado warning that stays in effect at least through 9:45 this morning. The area that's outlining this, the yellow box, that's a severe thunderstorm warning. That's a little bit of a lesser category. It's a little bit of a wider area. That's where we're seeing the large hail, the damaging winds, the dangerous lightning, and the very heavy rain. This storm system is pushing off to the east at about 25 miles per hour. We are continuing to watch it make its way through areas like Jersey Village, down through the Galleria area, back down 59 towards Sugar Land, areas like First Colony Mall, back towards Rosenberg, and this will push continually into the Bel Air area, West U, over the next couple of minutes. And because of the quick movement, we are going to see it move very quickly into some of these additional areas. So Spring Branch, Addicts, Alief, Clodine, Sugar Land, Harlem, Richmond, Rosenberg, all within that tornado warning area and all seeing very rough weather. And you can see as we back things up just about a half hour or so, you can see just how quickly these storms are moving through. This leading edge here is the potential for that rotation. This is where we've already started to see at least a few funnel clouds out of this, all verified by some trained spotters, law enforcement folks. I also want to quickly highlight that we have seen storms throughout the morning. And as Travis also mentioned, we've had some very heavy rain. We've had widespread amounts of 2, 3, 4 inches. some even higher amounts. And we are not done with the rain yet, so we may very well go from this situation of tornadic rotating storms to a flooding situation later on today. I want to quickly take you to one of our other sources, Weather 3. When we'll put a little storm track here, future track on this. And what we know about this cell is we know the direction it's going. We know how fast it's moving. We know that its leading edge here is moving off to the east, kind of east-northeast at about 25 miles per hour. What we're able to do through the computer is time out where it will be at specific moments in time. A really good indication of where this will be. So the future track puts this into Hedwig Village at about a minute, Sharpstown in 2 minutes. And you can see the clock kind of ticking down throughout these locations as the computer adjusts to where the storm is moving. Briar Grove at about 3 minutes, Hillshire 5 minutes or so, areas like Tanglewood, the Galleria 6 minutes. It will be into Westview in about 10 minutes and up towards the Northwest Mall at about the same time. Be right here at Channel 13 in about 11 minutes and into Memorial Park at about the same time. So this storm, again, very consistently moving off. Let's quickly take you outside this morning to some of our jam cams, because the west side of town, as you can see on the radar, is where we are getting the worst of it. This is the West Park Tollway at Tanglewild. Heavy rain across the area. Of course, travel is not advised this morning, especially right here in the Houston area, because we're seeing so much lightning and heavy rain. I think we've got another view over on the west side. This is the Katy Freeway at Gessner. Also heavy rain. We're starting to see the ponding. You saw the lightning flashes there. And just a reminder that we do have dangerous lightning in addition to the tornadic threat this morning. Let's take you over to meteorologist Travis Herzog for another update.
Casey, here's the perspective from our Houston tower cam. We have the tower cam trained westward, and the West Park, or rather the Williams Tower, is disappearing with the visibilities dropping. This is a very dark sky on the western horizon, indicating the immense amount of rain and hail that is falling out of this thunderstorm. It looks as black as night. This is going to be a blinding rain as it pushes eastward through the city of Houston. We'll get you now to the radar imagery to show you a little bit more of exactly how intense this thunderstorm is. It's basically engulfing the entire West Beltway from 290 southward to beyond the Highway 59 all the way down to Highway 90, and again everything pushing eastward here. We're also seeing some bowing on the radar. It's where we see curvature, this kind of curved band you see in the radar imagery here. That's indicating that we're seeing very strong winds gusting out from this thunderstorm, and those winds are pushing eastward. In fact, in a little bit here, I'm going to show you the Doppler radar winds. You can notice, though, the one area we're tracking is that persistent area where you see the circulating arrow right along the West Park Tollway. That's where we've had the persistent rotation, which is the most likely location of where a tornado would form as it tracks its way east-northeastward at 25 miles per hour. Now we'll show you the Doppler winds, and notice how, again, we're seeing this arcing pattern to the wind field, indicating that we're starting to see what's called bowing of the thunderstorm, which means that maybe the tornado threat might be diminishing, but the threat for strong gusty winds, the kind that can knock down some trees, knock over some fences, that may be increasing here in Houston, in the southwestern corner, south of the Katy Freeway, all the way down to the South Belt. So that's one area of concern that we're watching. What I'm going to do for you here is I'm actually going to look at some of the numbers coming in. This is indicating 38-mile-per-hour wind gusts. This one's 35 in the opposite direction. So we're looking at 45-mile-per-hour winds gusting along this front. That's actually technically not severe as it works its way eastward, but once it gets to that 55-mile-per-hour threshold, that's when it becomes the kind that can do some serious damage. So we've got the wind threat. We also have the hail threat, and we're continuing to see the possibility of widespread large hailstones from the Katy Freeway southward to Highway 59, centered right along the West Belt. Again, everything here pushing in an easterly fashion. We'll zoom down a little bit, show you this hail track here. The hail core is right now moving into the villages right there along Buffalo Bayou, and again pushing eastward toward the West Loop. So this is going to be a major problem for those who happen to be stuck on the roads just trying to get their way into work this morning. The best advice for anyone is to stay off the roadways. You're exactly where you need to be inside right now in your home. We'll start over again and take a look at some jam cams that we have outside on the west side of town, is where this storm is really beginning to bear itself down. These jam cams, West Park and West Park Drive, you can see it does look as black as night outside with this tornadic supercell pushing eastward through the city of Houston. Again, that tornado warning isn't in effect until 9:45, and it looks like the core of the rotation is out of Fort Bend County. Yes, it is still raining heavily for you folks that are watching in parts of Sugar Land. You have frequent cloud-to-ground lightning strikes, but the main area of concern is moving right along the villages just to the south of Spring Branch. That's where we are seeing the core of the rotation in this thunderstorm. That's the part that could possibly be producing the tornado. We'll show you the radar imagery once more. Again, moving in an east-northeast fashion. I'll zoom down for you on this arrow. So this is showing just right here between Woodway and the West Park, right along Fondren, some very heavy rain and rotation. Again, this is the main area that we are tracking in that east-northeast fashion. So